Good morning. I am Dia Direct, and welcome to Girlfriend FM. Girlfriend FM is where we talk about female matters. And today we have an issue and a woman who is here to talk about what's really going on. I am here with Mary Harvey. Mary, welcome to Girlfriend FM.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, Mary, we all have seen the YouTube videos of you talking about what went down in your relationship with Steve Harvey. We have heard his response on the
Right.
radio. We have even heard from your past assistant who's been on the
Right.
radio talking about what is and is not true as it relates to some of the allegations in the
Right.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna put it to you straight because I'm Dia Direct,
Uh-huh.
and I want I want to talk direct to you, woman to woman, girlfriend to girlfriend, as we do here on Girlfriend FM.
Okay.
Are you an angry black woman who is just resentful of your ex husband's success and you're mad that he's going on with his life and he's left you out here?
Um, if I was an angry black woman, this would have escalated into something really that doesn't represent who we are.
Mm.
If I was angry, the time for me to strike out would have been during the actual um, window
Mm-hmm.
of the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, taking me all this time to gather myself, to get better, to get healed, and deal with the big picture of this. And it is not two people having a very public argument.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what this is about.
You know, Mary, I can relate, millions of people can relate
Mm-hmm.
to divorce.
Right,
And I often equate divorce to it could either be like a rebirth
right,
or a funeral
right.
because there's a lot of loss there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for you, were your dreams, all of your dreams and hopes tied up in your relationship and family?
Absolutely, as that is and should be with any family. Our families are our dreams and our hopes. That's why
Mm-hmm.
we come together to create families. Um, to me, my marriage was my family. That's something I never had. That's something I never had
Mm-hmm.
access to when I was a young girl.
Okay.
So it meant quite a great deal to me, even though I started to find out things in my relationship that I was not happy with.
Mm-hmm.
Still, my first concern was our family, what we represented in the community, the people we were helping in the community. That was my very first concern, and it has been my concern for the last 5.5 years.
Talk to me about your lowest point uh, since the divorce because it sounds like it was like a funeral, like a loss. And I
Right,
understand, that sometimes it's hard to get out of the bed to think
right,
straight when you had your hopes and dreams basically built on something that is now gone.
right.
Your identity in some ways.
Well, it's like a death. It's like a funeral. It's like an identity theft. It's like an attack. It's like an invasion. It's like a lot of things. But in death, there is closure. There's no closure for me. As of today, there was never any closure at all. Um, and also, in death, um, in the sense that people die of old age, or if they have a heart attack, if they have cancer, there's not a person that feels victimized. And there's not a small portion of the community that's going to be left victimized because someone dies. There's a lot of issues involved in this entire scenario.
Your former assistant went on the air
Hmm.
and said that the stuff that you said about not having money wasn't true.
Hmm.
Said that your son was not taken from you, but that in
Hmm.
fact you put your son on a plane and called an hour beforehand to say he's
Hmm.
coming.
Hmm.
Address that.
Um, the fact that financially my life is in a shamble, that is absolutely true. But it's been like that since 2005. So
Why
this is
though? But
nothing
why is it in
because we
shambles?
have a man of power and authority, and he used that in the court. In a small town in Texas, he was able to manipulate this entire situation to his benefit. And it does happen. It happens in our community, it's happening in this country. And it touches every woman, every race, every religion, every creed. It is happening. And the thing about it that's so unbelievable is that it did happen. When you're talking about a man who's progressive, who's productive, who has a position in our community, it's like stunning. It's like shocking. Like, how could this be? But it is. It's exactly what's happening because I sit alone in this chair saying that to you. On my own, I'm standing up saying those things. But I know in the long term, it represents. I hope I'm able to save 5 women from what I've gone through because I know I represent the women who don't have a voice, just like I didn't have a voice.
Um, when you were on the Tom Joyner Morning Show this morning, you said that this was going to be your last interview.
Right.
When I heard what your assistant said, I'm just going to tell you what my immediate impression was. Having been through divorce, knowing a lot of women who have gone through certain things, I don't have any children, and I don't know if this is the case for you, but I just want to find out your perspective. I thought when she said that you put your son on the plane, and of course I want you to address it, but one of the things that came to mind was I've seen 2 scenarios. One, when a woman is really hurt, it comes across as anger.
Right.
And if the man is going on with his life, it's sort of like, don't forget about your son. Here,
Right.
you need to also deal with this. Or maybe mommy is emotionally and mentally broke down and not able to mother at that time.
Right.
I don't know if that was your scenario, but what did happen? Because it's out there in the public domain now, and I'd like you to have your
Well,
voice to speak.
I no more gave Winton away than I can change my color. Um, it was just one incident when Winton took a lot of flights to see his dad. And um, it's no different. I mean, you could say you've got a ticket when you put your mother on a flight. But what does that mean? Does it mean you gave your mother away? Other than that, you assisted your mother to go to the airport. There were many times when Winton was taken to the airport, which he had to be. He's a child. He can't drive himself. And as my assistant, of course, I would ask her to accompany Winton to the airport so that he could be delivered to his father. So I don't understand what's so astronomically unbelievable about a child being dropped at the airport. It happens every day. Children fly by themselves. So in that, I don't understand. Other than her saying this is what I did, I don't understand why that is so
Right.
like unheard of that a
Right.
child would get on a flight.
But you weren't aware that he wasn't coming back.
At that particular time, it wasn't a he's not coming back. That was not the flight, the final flight. And that part of it, I do beg to differ with her on that. It was not get this baby out of here. That was not that. But yet there were times when I was emotional and I was distressed, which any woman would be, and any woman would have a right to be. But that was not a moment of decision and in you take your boy. Steve Winton lived with me up until he was 9.5, 10 years old. And he didn't become custodial of Winton till Winton was almost 11 years old. So he's only been with his father for 2 years.
Why do you think the courts gave him that?
Because I'm a nobody. You know, his lawyers came in, his team of lawyers and his entourage, and you know, he's a man with the power. He's in 60 markets. He's written these books. You know, he's socially connected with the programs and Disney and all these type people. It's easier for him to come to court and say, oh, this woman has no job. You know, socially, she is of no significance. She has no moral support or no emotional support, which I did not have because everyone shifted to his side of the table, so to speak, because at that moment I did become insignificant and I was a nobody.
So where are you